Three, two, one. And I'm trying a new recording software, so
Okay.
it should be wonderful. All right. Lord Jesus, I just thank you today for Sarah, for her to be in my life, for our paths to connect, and for truly the wisdom and the gift and the experiences that you've given to her, to help her share this with more people, impact their lives, let them share their content, share their story, share who they are with more people so that we can all just make a bigger impact in this world. And I am just so honored and blessed to be able to learn from her today. And I pray for the people that will be watching this. Just get the right people in front of this message so they can connect with Sarah and their lives can be changed through her message. I just ask for you to be with both of us during this video call. And thank you for all that you continue to give us every day. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, I am Angie Huffman, and I am with Be Well, God Bless, who help people share their gifts with more people. And I am so honored and blessed to be learning and listening from Sarah today, who definitely has one of those gifts that God has like called her out, and she is helped me tremendously with my content and my marketing, and I'm so excited that I'm able to learn out loud in front of the community, get a little taste test here of what it's like to work with Sarah, and I'm going to just let you introduce more of your background and your passion, and just kind of tell a little bit about how God called you into doing this.
Absolutely, Angie. So I'm Sarah Schwab, and my business is Content Creation Coach. And actually, it's so perfect to be here on this platform with you because this is kind of what I do. This is what I really believe in: getting in front of a camera, or getting your message out in front of people and sharing it. And I love what you're doing at Be Well, God Bless, and I'm excited to be part of it and help other people do it more and better. So I think for me, the entrepreneurship thing has been part of me. I think that is a gift that I was given. I've always wanted to be in charge, start my own things, create my own things, have my own business. It was just kind of a matter of what was it going to be and when was it going to happen. But I really am wired that way. I love being around other people who kind of get what that's like. And then as far as the work of creating content, I came to this because it's an intersection of two more parts really of who I am, and that I feel like I've been given as well. And the first one is creativity. I really believe that everyone is creative. Human beings are, creativity is a capacity that we all have, no matter what that looks like. It's about how we, think of new things and have new ideas and create things in the world, whether it's in our kitchen or on our computer or on a canvas or whatever that looks like. And so expanding creativity is a big part of my mission in this world and why I really believe that I'm here. And then when you merge creativity and entrepreneurship, where I found is, I think at that intersection is content creation. It's such a joy to help people create new things. And in this case, we're talking often about, articles or videos or ebooks or, challenges, cool digital pieces that I help people create. But no matter what the format of it is, the magic really happens when somebody puts themselves and their message and their passion and their gift into that content to share with others, as you know. And I know we both really believe strongly in that. So again, I'm just really glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Like I said, you've inspired me tremendously just to get out. It's like all of these things are in my heart. I know what I want to do, but you really were there to be holding my hand and walking beside me to take it and grab it outside of me and put it out there to the world. Um, and through that, one of the things that came out is this Learn Out Loud series and Teach Out Loud, because it's hard for me, for others to be in front of a camera to say, here's what I know, here's what I'm an expert at. But it's great having a conversation back and forth and explaining what it is that you're an expert at. That's comfortable. That's fun,
No,
and so we've kind of.
and it's one of my favorite things, I will just say, when you get in the space of thinking of yourself as a content creator or someone who has something to share, one of the neatest things you can do then is collaborate with others.
Right.
And so to be able to do this with you, or be able to speak, at an organization, or there's opportunities out there to do that I also think are not only super valuable, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, tell
We're
us,
all
what are
about
we going to get
collaboration.
to learn about today? What is going to be the area that I get to learn out loud with you from?
Absolutely. So I'm going to dive in and talk about the 3 components to a content marketing strategy, the way that I work with people and teach people and help them build. So you really can understand, I think people have this vague concept of there's the internet and there's social media and I have a web page and I know I need to be doing this and there's emails and there's all this stuff.
Right.
And I'm going to
It gets
really
kind of
lay out.
overwhelming. It gets kind of scary.
It gets very overwhelming and feels a bit scattered. And how does this all work? And I'm going to show you how it all works and at least how it comes together with content. And really, these days, that's what people are looking for online. The days of one thing I talk about, and we're not probably going to have time to go there today, is the difference between content and copy. But, people used to splash out slogans and taglines and advertisements and flashy things, click here. And that's not what people are really looking for anymore online. And they've gotten pretty savvy. And what people are really looking for is, honestly, it's connection, it's answers, it's, help, it's real information and real generosity, real community online. And that's a really different thing than it was even 5 or 10 years ago. And that's what content creation and content marketing and sharing and giving online is really about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Should we dive in?
It does it. Let's do it. Let's dive in.
Awesome. I have a whiteboard behind me, so I'm going to grab my markers here because I think it's helpful to have the visual. And the way that I like to explain my content marketing strategy is that it's like a water park. And I don't know how many of the people watching this have been to a water park themselves or with their kids or with their families or whatever, but I think it's a really great visual. And when you think about the water park, the content marketing plan water park that we're going to build, the first thing you need is something to get people going. And I often picture, those water park rides that look like a giant toilet bowl.
That's what I call it, the toilet bowl.
Go in your tube and you go round and around until you fall out the bottom.
Yep.
That's the first component of our waterfall. I want to make sure I'm on the screen here. And that is like a funnel. And so when we build a funnel, at the top of a funnel is a piece of content that I call catalyst content. And maybe people can write this down while I'm writing too. Is it right? Can you read this?
Yep.
Catalyst content at the top of a funnel. That is that piece of content that is free, but it's engaging enough and desirable enough that people will, give something in exchange for it. So often that's an opt-in where people are giving you their name and email address. Sometimes it's a webinar that they're showing up for, or something like this where they're gonna, it could be on a site they click to, whatever. So that catalyst content piece is the starting point. You have this thing to offer, to give, with great information. Are you interested in this? And if they say yes, then they start going down through this process. And hopefully when you engage with them and they get a couple of emails from you, they read your information, you say, did you like it? What do you think? And some of them will buy something from you. They'll hire you, they'll do a call with you, and it's the right fit and it's the right time. But we both know that, honestly, a lot of people, the majority of people, probably aren't going to be ready to do that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But they've said they're interested. They like what you have to say, what you have to share. And so we want to make sure that we stay in touch with them, because statistically, Angie, I don't know if you've heard this, but more than half of sales happen over 12 months later than the initial contact.
Can you say that again?
So I heard it was 60% of sales happen more than a year after your initial contact with that person.
Wow.
So that's tough to hear when you're new in business and you're like, I need sales right now. But it's actually brilliant in the long run. This strategy is a marathon, I will tell you. It is a long-term strategy, but after that first year, the results start multiplying. That list that you've been communicating with starts responding and coming back around, and it's tremendous what happens. So I was getting a little bit ahead of myself there, but so there's all these people coming out the bottom that we need to stay in touch with. And what do we do with them? We put them into what I call the lazy river. Do you know the lazy river at the water park?
Right.
And so let's draw a lazy river maybe about like this. And in the lazy river is a type of content that I call nurturing content. Nurturing content, and it's also free. It's a little bit shorter in scope than your Catalyst content pieces, and it's something we have to do consistently on a regular basis. So that often looks like blog articles. It looks like videos, video blogs that people do. It can look like audio files. I'm getting really excited about the world of podcasting, which is a form of nurturing content where people are out there sharing regularly. And what that does is allows you to maintain those relationships, build those relationships, stay on people's radar. And not only that, you can also share it and bring more people in, because people are seeing your articles, sharing your articles, clicking to your website, you're driving traffic, you're building awareness. So having a consistent nurturing content plan and strategy and implementation is really the heart of successful online marketing. And so from there, we've got these people coming back around. And then there's another thing that everybody needs to hear, and I want to be really clear about this. Oftentimes people will say, I have a list and I'm doing email marketing, but it's not working. Nobody's buying anything. And what you need to know is that that's not what the lazy river is about. That the lazy river is about building that relationship, seeing your face, looking forward to hearing from you, building that trust. But in order to actually get them out of the lazy river to take some action, you need, where am I going to do this over here? Another funnel. And so somewhere down the line, you offer them another thing. Now I'm going to do a webinar, or I'm having a guest, code teaching thing. Come and join us. I'm doing a special seasonal training, whatever it is. And that gets people to take that next action, to think about, is it time to make them that offer and say, I know you want to do this, let's do it. And then you're going to get out of that more, I have too many markers here, more sales coming through. And also, every time you have a funnel and a Catalyst content piece, you have the opportunity to get more people coming in, and the whole system gets bigger. Your list grows, the impact starts to grow over time. And so what I do with my longer term clients, is that we try and build a funnel. I say every maybe 2 to 4 times a year, maybe once a quarter if you can do it, so that this water park of yours turns into a really rockin' hoppin' place with all sorts of people coming in and moving through and, buying, taking offers, creating momentum in your business. That's what it should feel like when it's really working. So I know that was like a big metaphor, and I don't know, I would love to clarify for you or see if you have questions on behalf of our listeners here about what this means tangibly in your digital marketing for your business.
Well, the visual I get right away because my husband Derek and I worked at Wisconsin Dells. And so we get the water park. So as you're saying, just bringing in more people, and the part that really made sense to me, and you were helping me first on that catalyst content. What's just this first piece that you can go and feel confident and give to people when you first connect with them. But the lazy river, it's like you have to constantly build that relationship. You have to continue to just keep them going around in the circle. And, that made the most sense to me as far as, you just need to get them to float around your organization, your personality, your relationships. And then at that point, you can add more of these things in. But if you can't just, have this one thing and then you have another sale and then you have another thing without building that relationship.
That's the scattered thing that happens a lot of times. And it is this lazy river. It's your nurturing content that keeps the system moving forward and making sense. And we can turn this into an editorial calendar, which for some people makes more sense, and really say, okay, what does this mean? I'm writing blog articles, and so I'm going to do that every couple of weeks. And then in, I don't know, November, I'm going to do a funnel because it's coming up to the holidays, and we'll figure out what that looks like. So we take this and we actually make a tangible plan out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is awesome. It gives you the theory, it gives you the foresight, the creative part of it, but then you also go down into, okay, let's put this on paper, let's put dates on it, let's put titles on it, let's put ideas on it, and even just the help in the content itself. I think that's also where your gift just comes out and shines, because you're able to hear and listen to people who are just sharing their heart and what they do and how they do it, and you can just gather that. And things that, people are so stuck on, even though they know it all, they can't put the words out. They don't know how to explain it. And you do such an amazing job at being able to listen to that and say it back to them so that they can understand what they just said.
and help bring in that outside perspective. That's a piece of it. There's a lot of different pieces to that process when we really get into it, because as you know, Angie, it's if we're building relationship, we have to know really clearly who's on both sides of that relationship. And sometimes it's really hard when you're inside your business and you're really into your message and you know what you know, to bring in that perspective of the people who are listening, of your prospective clients and customers, and what are they really thinking about, what questions do they have. And that's something that I think that's a gift that I bring to, even just in that perspective and that ability. So yeah, absolutely. And there's actually two parts to what you're talking about, to the sort of content creation implementation part. I haven't talked about this for a while, but I say there's three legs to the stool of the work that I do. One is the strategy. So thinking of the strategy and what that's going to look like for you. Like I said, that plan, that calendar, all those kinds of things. The second thing really is mindset. There's a mindset component here, because as you probably know, when you ask someone to write or to speak or to get in front of a video camera to share their message, there's fear, there's stuff, there's hurdles, there's hesitation, there's things that happen. And so getting into that mindset of letting go of perfection for some people, letting go of expectations, or things that we have, like the judgments that we have about, I'm not good enough at this, or whatever that is, and be able to step into becoming a content creator. Because I really think if you're going to be a business owner, and a small business owner, and a solo business owner especially, content creator is part of your job title. And the third piece then is the actual creating of the content itself, the implementation, which has technology ramifications. It has some skills around, let's say it's writing, being able to write effectively online. How do we do that? And there's tools in all of those different areas. So again, that's kind of a high level picture of what I'm able to do with people, but I want them to know about those three. So we talked about strategy, which is what we learned about here, mindset, and then content creation and implementation.
Yeah. Which I think is part of your magic, because a lot of times people may have, the one part of the stool or the third part of the stool, or just focused on that second mindset, but then doesn't have the technology part, or the actual how
Something
to.
missing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's always seems to be something missing, and you get real excited about this part of it, and now I got it figured out, but then you're like all by yourself, and you're like, now I don't know what to do, what I just figured out, and I want to do something, but I still need somebody there to help me and get me through. So I think that's an awesome gift that you have
Absolutely.
to share, to
And
package
I
it
want to
all
almost tell a
together.
story. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
About what this looks like in real business, because the beauty is, I feel like sometimes when I'm in the strategy portion of it, it's disconnected from what this is really about. And I talk a lot about relationships. And sometimes that's hard to feel when you're sitting behind your computer in your office writing blog articles. But then when you meet someone or talk on the phone with someone who has read your stuff or watched your videos or somehow, taken in your content, and they say, I love your stuff. I really love your approach. I love your message. And I wanted to connect with you. I wanted to work with you. That means a lot. And so it could be someone you've never met before, and they feel like they know you and they get it. That's the power of content when you really do it well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And that's really when you do connect with somebody, because you are putting out your soul there,
And it sounds so like, be well, God bless. I mean, that's ripple effect, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's when the connections are made. I say that's when God just shows up and says, okay, now you guys get to work together, and what you offer and what you need, it just happens, and that content is a big piece of how it can happen, because if you're not getting outside of your comfort zone, if you don't step out of the boat, you're not going to be able to let people know what you're doing.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, in that context, I feel like creating content is an invitation to God and to, the universe to say, do something with this. It's hard sometimes for God to do magic if you're just sitting in your couch by yourself. And I think there are a couple of different ways that can happen, but we have to be willing to take some sort of action, to go to an event, go put ourselves in front of people, post something out there, put something out so that magic can then happen, because it really does. It's incredible.
And it's not always the way that you think it will happen.
Right.
Like you may put it out here and you're thinking this is what you're going to get, and then all of a sudden from this other direction something bigger comes to you. But if you never would have got that out to begin with, I don't think it would have come.
That's right.
So you still have to take the action, still show up, and still do it, and then the outcome is not in your hands. It's better than you could imagine.
It is. And sometimes it's actually intangible. I've talked about like the growth, this grows and your list grows and your business grows and some of your sales grow, and that's all great.
Yeah.
But I really actually believe part of why that happens is because you grow. If you do this consistently and you're getting better at it and you're getting more comfortable with it and you're learning more things and sharing more things and honing your message, you are growing in this process. And that's what really I think is part of that magic as well. I'm a huge believer in growth, especially for entrepreneurs. We have to lead the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. You great, great things to share with us. Great wisdom. So if somebody were be interested in working with you, what are some different services that you provide that somebody could say, okay, I really like what she's saying. I really connect with that. I really connect with her. What do I do next to get more of that magic from Sarah?
Well, I would send people to my website. It's at contentcreationcoach.com. And I work individually with people when it comes to this kind of stuff, building your content marketing strategy, your nurturing content, your catalyst content, building funnels. I often do that in either 3 months or 6 months, one-on-one packages with people. I do also have what I'm now calling a content marketing intensive, which is 3 hours, and we can sit down and kind of hash out what this looks like for you. And I'll put a lot of the pieces in place, and you kind of then have to go out and implement it and carry it forward. But that's often a really good starting place for people. I will talk about 2 programs that I offer. One is called the Passionate Podcasters. As I mentioned, podcasting is something I'm really interested in. I'm working on for myself, and I started a community where we speak with successful podcasters on how to do that, how to leverage that kind of platform. If you think speaking into a microphone and creating a podcast might be of interest to you, it's a phenomenal way to get out there and to do what we're talking about. And then I also have a program that it's about building online courses. We didn't really talk about this today, but there's a third type of content that is what I call money-making content, where people pay money to learn your content, to get deeper into what it is that you teach and share. So having an online training or a digital group program, things like that, I help people build those, plan them, and build them. And again, deal with all the technology and all the content creation components that are part of that. And that program is called Build Your Online Course in 90 Days. So it's something I can do individually with people, but the group is a wonderful experience for helping each other along that journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of masterminding and getting feedback and things like that way. Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
I think it's very realistic and doable the way that you put your packages together. It's the 3 hour just really jump starts you, really gets your brain in the right spot and gives you a direction to start walking in. And if that's what you can afford, that's what you can do, that's great. But then also the 3 or the 6 months or the ongoing podcasts, the 90-day training, you're not saying that be with me for 2 hours and we'll get your online training system all set up. It's real. Right. It's going to take some time, but you're going to stay focused and you're going to put it together and you're going to have something at the end of it that you can use.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Well, and people, I really do I like to talk to people. I think on my website, there's a way to just schedule an introductory call to find out where you're at and what makes sense. If you're really starting from the beginning, if you're in what you're interested in, and what's the right fit for you. So I'm always open to that.
Awesome. Wonderful. Great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us in our Be Well, God Bless community before we close up today?
I should mention one more thing, and I can hardly leave a conversation without mentioning this because my other creative passion in my life is dance. So I'm a dancer, and it's like I said, creating content is great because it has a lot of those same creative process components to it. But when I am in the dance studio or on the dance floor, I just light up. It's part of, again, who I am. It's part of my soul. And my book that I wrote, give me 1 second, I'm going to grab it.
Let's say it's sitting right on my
kitchen
table. Oh, yeah.
It's called Content That Dances. And so this is another great starting point for people. If you're interested in this, there's ideas to carry all of this forward in the book. It is on Amazon. And I put, part of my passion in there. And I really encourage everybody to do that, to find what it is that's your passion that's maybe not related to your business. If you like gardening or if you like traveling or whatever that is that's part of who you are and makes you special, we want to find a way to share that in your content as well, because that's how we build those relationships. That's what makes it really real and authentic. So I think that would be my message.
That's great. And all of these things are on your membership page and Be Well, God Bless. So we'll link that up there too so they can easily find that and go right to your website and find out more information about everything. So,
And
Sarah, I just thank you so much for your time. I thank you for letting me learn out loud and letting us share this with the community so more people can know about you and truly the gifts and the passion that you're sharing with the world. So,
oh,
thank
my
you.
pleasure. Thanks for having me, Angie.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Be well and God bless.